Talking on the radio, I'll be with you.
Am I detained?
I'm just talking on the radio.
Am I detained?
You have to wait a minute.
Am I detained? No, I won't be waiting. You're not going to speak to me properly. I'm not going to be waiting.
Sir, you are on private property.
No,
I'm going to ask you to leave.
Listen, can I just explain something?
No, you listen to me.
Oh, no,
You're
so
on
you want to
private
give me
property.
directives?
I'm directing you to leave my premises.
Your premises?
Yes, the police premises.
You're the owner of this premises, are you?
If you fail to leave as a trespasser, you remain here after I've directed you to leave. It is aggravated trespass.
No, excuse me.
Which is
I have to listen. Can I just explain to you? You don't know the law.
I'm directing you to leave now.
No. We're going to have a conversation first.
No, we're not.
Because you're not going to violate my. What are you doing? Why are you assaulting me? Why are you assaulting me? Why are you assaulting me? Why are you assaulting me?
Right.
Why are you assaulting me?
Is there anything
I'm walking out. Why are you assaulting?
I can reasonably do.
Why have you got your hands on my chest?
Is there anything
Why
I
have you
can
got your
reasonably do or say
there is.
to get you to leave?
Yes, there is.
What is it?
Be lawful.
Get out of this building and all of its surrounding
Be lawful.
property.
What are you doing?
PC Jenkins walks out already convinced he's entitled to control the space. And that mindset is what ruins everything. He reaches straight for private property and aggravated trespass, as if saying the words creates authority. Aggravated trespass only lives when someone is deliberately obstructing lawful work. Jenkins doesn't even try to link Ed's filming to anything resembling disruption. Jenkins's reaction when Ed says he's walking back tells you exactly where his priorities are. A reasonable officer would take that as the clean exit it is and let the interaction de-escalate. Instead, Jenkins keeps hold of him and moves straight for cuffs. Not because anything has changed, but because he's already committed himself to a level of force he can't now justify.
What are you doing?
Stay there.
What are you doing?
Stay there. Grab an arm, mate.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Directed you to leave.
I'm leaving. I'm walking out. I'm literally walking out. I'm literally walking out.
I'm going to go on the floor as well.
I'm literally walking out.
You're going to go now?
I'm literally walking out.
You're going to go now?
Look, I'm literally almost out.
Well, you are out now.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you going to stay out, or are you going to stay out and continue to shower?
If you uncuff me, I'll have a reasonable conversation with you.
No, I'm not having a reasonable conversation. I asked you to leave. You refused.
What law did I break, sir?
Trespassing.
Trespassing is a civil offence, sir.
Once I've directed you to leave.
You didn't give me a chance. You were stood in front of me.
Once I've directed you to leave, is aggravated trespassing.
Sir, is your body camera on?
No,
please
you're recording for me, though.
It's not recording. The light's not on. Look.
Oh,
please activate your body worn.
No. My body one's been on the whole time.
Okay.
What crime have I committed?
No crimes.
So why am I in handcuffs?
Are you going to stay out of this premises?
Why am I in handcuffs, sir?
Because you weren't following my direction.
But I haven't broken the law, sir.
PC Jenkins exposes himself the moment the body cam question comes up. A professional officer just switches it on. Jenkins instead turns it into a joke. No, but you're recording for me. Because he has zero interest in creating a record he can later be held to. That's not cheeky. That's strategic. He knows the footage would box him into the rules he's already abandoned. So, he keeps the camera off and keeps his options open. Ed then asks why he's in cuffs if there is no crime. And Jenkins answers, because you weren't following my directions. That's not a legal threshold. That's a preference. Directions don't create detention powers, and ignoring them is an offense. By his own words, the handcuffs aren't tied to risk, suspicion, or law. They're tied to Ed not obeying fast enough for Jenkins's liking.
I haven't broken the law, ma'am.
You?
Why am I in handcuffs?
Trespassing.
Please take the handcuffs
You
off
are
me. You've hurt me. Look. You've hurt me. Look at my
I've
hands.
directed you to leave.
I'm out.
Are you going to stay out?
I am
of here?
out.
What is your intention now if I take these off? Are you going to leave?
You'll be receiving a complaint about this, constable. What's your number, please?
There.
No, I can't see it anywhere. I'm looking at you. I can't see it.
It's there.
Where? 2406. Yeah. What's your name?
2406.
Your name's 2406. Yeah. What station are you from, 2406?
Headquarters.
Head Q, yeah? So you've already seen me there, and you've already seen me.
I haven't seen you today. Okay. It's the first time I've met you in my life.
But I've just been at HQ, and I've got told that I'm okay inside.
I want you to not come inside this premise, which is private.
You're going to be receiving a civil claim, sir, for assault and battery and trespass to the person. Excuse me, lady. Which one of you? I just want to ask which one of them took my camera. Which one of you took my camera out of my hand, please?
PC Jenkins refuses to identify properly because he knows the moment his name is attached to this incident. He's accountable for every unlawful decision he's already made. Giving a caller number when asked for a name isn't policy confusion. It's a deliberate dodge. Officers identify with both precisely, so the public can follow up misconduct, and Jenkins avoids that process like it's a threat. When Ed points toward the female officer who grabbed his camera, Janine steps in and blocks the movement with his body.
Excuse me, lady, which one of you... I just want to ask which one of them took my camera.
It's a subtle move, but it tells you exactly how he's handling the encounter. Not by answering questions or dealing with the concern, but by shutting down even the smallest attempt to reference what actually happened.
Which one of you please took the camera out of my hand? Could you
Can you
please
see this line here?
Which one of you please took the camera out of my hand?
If you come back over this...
Which one of you please took the camera out of my hand?
If you come back over this, you will be arrested.
Please get out of my face.
Right?
For what, sir?
For trespass.
Trespass is
a nature.
You have to intend, sir. What was the necessity for handcuffs? An assault, battery. It's assault and battery. There has to be necessity for handcuffs.
You can use reasonable force to remove someone from property.
But asking them to leave would be reasonable force if they're trespassing, which is a civil offence, right?
When they asked, did you leave?
He was stood in my way. I couldn't leave.
Ultimately, I'm not in a position to speak for somebody else's actions because I...
No, but you're a police constable and I'm trying to report a crime to you. Just because it's a policeman who assaulted me is by the by, sir.
No, I'm not saying that...
I have it on video, an assault on video. Would you like to see it?
No, I don't want to see it because at the moment, from what you're telling me and from what I've heard the description of the incident on the radio, there was no assault. You were removed.
I was handcuffed.
Yes.
For what reason? I've got a cut. Okay. I've been handcuffed. I've been assaulted. For what reason?
You were handcuffed to remove you to prevent you from causing any harm, or.
But I wasn't going to. I was doing a lawful activity.
You were. We don't have people in the backyard.
Is it unlawful?
When Ed reports the assault to the second officer, you'd expect at least a basic attempt to understand what happened. Especially when Ed says he has the entire thing on video. Instead, the officer shuts it down with, "I don't want to see it," which is the clearest admission that he isn't interested in facts, only in protecting the uniform standing beside him. By refusing to view the footage, the officer effectively decides the outcome before he even gathers the information. It's a neat trick. If he doesn't look at the evidence, he doesn't have to acknowledge wrongdoing, report it, or challenge a colleague. Ed is offering clarity, and the officer is refusing it because clarity would force him out of his comfort zone.
You have to understand the disproportionality here, right? From my perspective. I go to the headquarters where the office for the Police and Crime Commissioner is, and police officers there on the same day show me around, right? I come to a different police station in the same town, and I go to exactly the same place, i.e. the car park, and I get handcuffed and thrown out. Now, that is disproportionate, do you not think?
That's your opinion of it.
No, it's a fact.
As I said, that's your opinion. If you believe it's disproportionate, then you're entitled to call and report and make a complaint.
But I'm trying to do that with you.
But I'm not the appropriate person to talk to. I'm not the person...
But you're a police officer and a crime has been... I believe a crime has been committed against me.
From what I understand of it, I don't think there has been a crime. If you believe that what the police officer has done was disproportionate, then that is entirely...
Can I ask you a question? A law-related question?
If you believe it's disproportionate the action that was taken, then you can call and make a complaint against that officer. It's not appropriate for me to be dealing with that because that is one of my colleagues.
The moment this officer says he's not the appropriate person because the suspect is his colleague, he essentially confirms he's refusing to do the job he's sworn to do. A police officer doesn't get to step aside when the alleged offender wears the same uniform. If a random member of the public had grabbed Ed, shoved him, and interfered with his equipment, this officer wouldn't hesitate. But because the behavior came from inside the station, he suddenly discovers a rule that doesn't exist anywhere in policing. Telling Ed to call and make a complaint is just a way to push the problem into paperwork. Frontline officers are meant to act when an offense is reported, not redirect victims to admin routes because confronting a colleague is awkward.
It's not a fair process, is it?
Of course it is. You all take oaths. You all take oaths to uphold the law.
Absolutely.
So when somebody, it's irrelevant whether it's another police officer. Let me ask you this: if you were with your partner, if you have one in your car, right, and let's say he'd had a really stressful day or he'd had really stressful time at home or whatever, right, and you interacted with a criminal who had done something wrong. You had your criminal handcuffed behind his back. He wasn't a threat to anybody, and then your partner came up and punched him straight in the face. Would you arrest your partner?
No.
Why?
The reason being is because I would have to follow the same process as you. There are things I have to do. I would then report that to our professional standards, and they would then investigate.
So in that case, that means that I can set a policy saying that if I break the law, Instead of you guys arresting me, what you have to do, because it's the way you're supposed to do it, is to contact my PR department, and then we'll release a statement. Do you see how that doesn't work, sir?
No, I appreciate where you're coming from.
When Ed gives that hypothetical, he's not being dramatic. He's giving the officer a scenario with only one lawful answer. A cuff compliance suspect being punched is a straight assault, and any constable knows they can arrest a colleague if a crime occurs in front of them. The officer still says no, not because he lacks powers, but because he's already boxed himself into the idea that colleague misconduct gets routed through process instead of the law. Ed's follow-up exposes the floor cleanly. If officers get to hide behind internal procedures before facing the law, why can't the public do the same? The officer can't argue it because Ed has cornered him with his own reasoning. The officer's position only works in a world where accountability runs in one direction towards the public, never inward.
You literally refuse to have a look at the crime. Like, I appreciate the fact that you're trying to be calm and collected with me. I do appreciate that, because a lot of officers just get angry.
Well,
so I respect you. Well, he did. He got angry, handcuffed me, and pushed me out. But I appreciate you staying calm. But the fact of the matter is, sir, is you're not fulfilling your duty as a constable right now.
Okay. Well, as I said, I've given you the advice to the best of my knowledge of what you need to do to report this incident. Now, if you choose not to do that, that is entirely up to you.
Well, I'm waiting for a sergeant anyway.
Okay. I apologise that I've been able to.
Don't apologise for not
to satisfy what you were trying to get.
I wasn't trying to get in. I was trying to get.
No, I appreciate what I'm saying is you weren't trying to get anything from me, but obviously you were trying to report something. From my understanding, it's not a crime. We obviously have.
What is the point in me even waiting around? It's pointless. If you're saying that, the sergeant's going to say exactly the same thing, isn't she?
Well, it's entirely up to you. If you would like to wait around and speak with her, then that is
pointless. It's pointless, man. But I'm just absolute joke.
The sergeant won't review evidence, won't challenge a colleague, and won't deviate from the script the constables have already committed to. Ed calling it pointless isn't defeatist. It's accurate. You can't escalate a complaint up a chain where every link is designed to land on the same answer. This email from HNK is the formal step confirming the letter of claim went out and the force had 21 days to acknowledge it. The point where you'd expect accountability to finally enter the picture. But anyone who's been through this process before will recognize the problem. Everything depends on the force cooperating. The paperwork moved, the deadlines passed, but the outcome shows exactly how a force can still avoid facing what its own officers did. The police didn't just stall. They ignored HNK entirely. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a force refusing to engage with a civil claim because they know the system allows them to. And the user underneath nails the reality most people never see. Unless you've got the money to bankroll a fight, the police can slow walk or stonewall a case until the solicitors have no financial reason to continue. HNK didn't drop it because Ed was wrong. They dropped it because the force made the process economically impossible to pursue. If Ed had tens of thousands to burn on upfront legal fees, this wouldn't have died on a bureaucratic wall. But for ordinary people, the police can exercise a kind of passive immunity, not by proving their officers acted lawfully, but by refusing to participate until the case collapses under its own cost. PC Jenkins behaved like the space belonged to him personally. That's why he grabbed Ed before he had a reason, refused the body cam when he should have welcomed it, and shut down identification like it was optional. His conduct wasn't a mistake. It was a pattern of someone who treats accountability as an inconvenience. Then you have the second officer who had the chance to put the brakes on this mess and chose the opposite. He rejected video evidence, refused to act on a reported assault, and even admitted he wouldn't arrest a colleague for a clear-cut crime. Ed didn't have to expose him. He exposed himself. And the final insult came after the camera stopped rolling. Ed took the lawful route, passed the case to HNK, and the force simply ignored them. That's institutional cowardice. Jenkins should be ashamed of the way he acted, and the force should be ashamed of the way they handled the aftermath. When your strategy is to stonewall rather than answer for your officers, you're not protecting policing, you're undermining it. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue with my independent coverage. Thanks for watching.